up, guys? What's going on with you? What's going on with you? I know it's been a minute. I took last week off, so while I was at home, well, yeah, I just had other things going on. Had a couple things going on. Like, for one, this black eye. Y'all see that black eye? Look it up there. You see that? Oh, man, you should have seen it last week. It was out to here. I ain't had a black eye that big and that bad since, well, I don't really know if I've ever had a black eye that bad. But I caught that from just messing with the wrong person. And I caught an elbow to the face. No, I'm just kidding. Now, I got that from my 8-year-old, little cash man. He caught me with that elbow right there, boy, right there. See what? We got a swing back home, a rope swing, and it's probably 20, 25 foot from the branch. And I can get him going, man, I'm telling you, 10, 15 foot up in the air. But what I do is I get behind him and I pull him back and I push him. As soon as he comes back, he'll hold his legs down and straight and hard, you know, and tighten up. I grab him by his ankles and I pick him up, and then I slam him. And that boy he'll take off like a rocket and go real high. Anyway, that's what I done. And I done that, and after a couple of swings, he came back, and right as he went past me, I grabbed him by his ankle and was going to pull him and put my hand right there on the back of his lower back and just slam him again. And he is holding on like this to the ropes, or the rope. Yeah, the ropes, I guess you could say. And when I done that, his elbow went, wow. And let me tell you guys, I've been in a few fights in my life since I've become an adult. And I've been squirreled. I've been hit pretty hard. I've had my jaw hurt for, 3 weeks. But never have I ever been hit to where I look like one of Mayweather's opponents. Look like, you seen those old movies where the planes are going to go down. Vietnam and World War II, where the plane just like, that's what I felt like. Because when he hit me, bam, I was like, oh! And I turned and I stumbled about 4 or 5 steps, and I promise you, I about hit the ground. I ain't never been hit that hard. And I mean, I about passed out. He about knocked me the out. And all I heard was him doing was laughing. Oh, leave it up to my boy. He about to knock his daddy out. He gonna laugh about it. But that's a good lesson I used that for. Maybe I'll talk about that next time. But yeah, he about knocked his old man out, 8 years old. Man, I ain't never been hit that hard. My family back home was telling me that, with that kind of force pulling him down, and plus his momentum, it's lucky he didn't crack a bone or something. But anyway, I got to sport around a black eye and look like a badass. Everybody looking at my black eye, and I'm like, yeah, you don't want none of this. No, I'm just kidding. Not really. It was kind of cool. It's been a while since I had a black eye. I sported it around. Listen, guys, people keep on getting in my inbox and talk about, what do you think about the ELDs? And I've been like this, I was like, I've switched up my operation. I'm running regional now, staying in the Midwest and down to Florida. I would say, let's say, over to Shreveport, up to Kansas City, up Wisconsin, Michigan, over to Youngstown, Ohio, and down to Florida. That's where my operation's been for about the last maybe 2 months. One of the guys was talking about, these other cats are getting $3, $4 a mile, but I wouldn't take advice. So I thought, hell, let's try it. Last time I tried the regional stuff, I was with Roadrunner, and I was doing good to get $1.20 to $1.80 overnight and stuff. I mean, and it was just too much of a hustle, lack of sleep, and not enough pay. So coming out with my own authority, I stuck to what I knew paid, and I stuck to what I knew. So it was long haul, and I got a little revenue built up, and I was like, hey, let's try this regional stuff. Some short hops. Let's try it. See what I can do with it. And been doing pretty good. I plan to do this for the rest of the year, through the winter, possibly until, I don't know, I get tired of it. But last time I run an ELD, I ran it for about 2 weeks when I was running long haul. And what I found out with ELDs on long haul was I made my points better, better time. For example, I'd come out of Atlanta and I would drive to Heath, Arkansas, which wasn't but like, 400 miles away. In Heath, Arkansas, I'd go day 2, Heath, Arkansas, I'd go to Amarillo, which was right at 700 miles. And day 3, I would go from Amarillo to Kingman, which is about 730 to 740 miles, depending on what truck stop you go to. And day 4, I'd get up from Kingman and I'd drive on into Northern California. Be a half day run there. No, a full day run there. So day 1 was a half a day, and the other 3 was a full day. But what I found out on the ELDs was I made better timing from each point because it wasn't going in logbook, paper, 15-minute increments. So I made better time. And I thought, hey, these ELDs ain't gonna be that bad because I'm making better time. So people's asked me what I think about the ELDs. I said, look, I hadn't ran them. Keeping it to the skinny, I've just basically said, I hadn't ran them, so I don't really have no experience to talk about it. But I will tell you now I've got some experience on some short hops, and I will tell you what I found out. I ain't running ELDs, but I have been. Nothing hooked up, nothing with my name attached, nothing with my numbers. Just running them as beta, I guess you could say. Still running paper and running beta ELD. Just to see what I'm coming up with. And what I'm coming up with on long haul, they're pretty cool. I like them. Easy. Made better time with them. Local, or not local, but regional or short hops, overnight stuff. Oh my God, let me write this mileage down. It's a disaster. I mean, just straight out disaster. Hold on a minute. Yeah, regional short hops, ELDs are a disaster. A lot of people, before I catch some haters on here talking about if you can't run ELDs and keep it legal, then you're running wrong. If you run an ELDs, it's this or it's that. Let me go ahead and tell you one thing: ELDs are not a one size fit all. It's not like a one size fit all. Every operation is different. Whether you're livestock, whether you're in the oil fields, whether you're what I used to do in agriculture of feed hauling, grain hauling, stuff like that, where that right there is a man, you got to get it. Or whether you're log hauling, or whether you're an over the night regional, running some terminal freight, running some relay freight, basically local stuff, or versus regional overnight short hops to long haul. They're all different setups, and an ELD will not cater to all of them. What I've been doing with the regional, the short hops, I've been trying to stick to 400 to 500 miles, 600 miles. And then on usually a last trip, if I'd pick a long one, and usually they're going to Florida, up to about 1,100 miles, just to get me back home and get a good rate and finish up my week. I've been staying out 3 or 4 days, knocking anywhere from about 4 to 5,500 in revenue. And I'm liking it. The wife likes it because I've been home more. And I like it because I ain't running my truck ragged. I ain't putting, a shit ton of miles on her. And I'm still collecting and setting up good revenues. So I'm liking it. But what I'm not going to like is when I go to ELD. And I'm going to tell you why. This is what I find out. On ELD, when I pick up a load, let's say I come out of Chattanooga and I go to, say Canton, Ohio. All right, I'm gonna pick that up 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, get loaded. Say I'm rolling by 11, and I'm en route. Well, by the time I get there, it's all great, it's all cool. But I've got a 6 o'clock appointment time, or I've got an 8 o'clock appointment time in the morning. So I get plenty of sleep, I get up, and then I bust ass to go get unloaded, or if I'm lucky, I'm parked at the receiver. And from that moment, it might take 30 minutes, it might take 2 hours to get unloaded. So let's say I'm unloaded at 10, and at 10 o'clock I'm unloaded. By this time, usually I found another load, and I'm just waiting to get unloaded to bust ass and go get it. Let's say I get there and bump a dock at 11. Say they load me 30 minutes, 2 hours. Let's just say I'm out of there 12:30, 1 o'clock, and I'm rolling. From that point on, I ain't got but 400 miles to go. So I'm looking at 6.5, 7, 8 hours, depending on traffic, to get there. So if I leave at 1 o'clock and it takes me 8 hours to get there, all right, with traffic, just given. Say I get there at 9 o'clock that night. Well, guess what? I started my clock at 6 o'clock that morning. 8 o'clock, I'm out of hours. My 14's done ran out. So I'm literally stuck, 40, 50 miles away from the receiver, which is all cool. That's all cool. We're going to make up for it tomorrow. So I'm going to shut down, and I'm going to get up. My appointment time's tomorrow at 8 o'clock. All right? But I got to give an hour to get there. So I'm going to get up, and I'm going to be rolling, say 6:45, 6:30, 6:45 to ensure that I'm there by 8. And I get there, I'm on time. They take, say 2.5 hours to unload me. So I get there at 8, say 10:30, I'm unloaded. Say I found another load, and I'm en route to go get it. I get there, and I get loaded up again 12, 1 o'clock. Same scenario. I start running out of, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to do it. So I've been making it work. I've been making, running the shorter runs, but it's just a pain in the ass. And let me tell you also this. They do not force you to drive or sleep, because trust me, I have not gotten as much sleep running ELD as I would strictly on paper. So I don't like it. They need to increase the 14. The HOS 14 needs to go, needs to be abolished, because the sleep is it's just not enough hours in the day to get on a shore hop, a day run. It's just not. There's too many variables that come into place, and you just don't have enough time. And by the time you actually get things happening, you're late. So I think it's going to be a disaster. It's going to be a disaster. So that's my experience so far. Last few weeks that I've been running the beta and checking it out and seeing where I stand with it. So I got another video coming soon. It's going to be about what I think about the ELD mandate and the ELD and the emissions mandate. People keep on asking my opinion on it, so I'm going to nip it in the bud and I'm going to talk about it and tell you what I really think. Anyway, guys, we in the business to make money. Treat it like a business. It pay you like a business. Treat it like a hobby, and it's going to cost you like a hobby. And we all know hobbies are expensive.